Welcome to this presentation on German proverbs as a window onto business culture. I'm your host, Margaret Konglewski, Professor of German and International Affairs at the George Washington University. This project was supported by GW and a grant from the Teagle Foundation. To recap from the introductory presentation, proverbs from another culture can give us some general insight into that culture and how they do business. Through examination of the language and meaning of proverbs, we can better understand similarities and differences across cultures while appreciating the contradictions that exist within any culture. We'll be focusing here on the business culture of Germany. Many of the points will be relevant to the business culture of Austria, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein as well, although a whole other presentation could be done about the subtle and not so subtle differences between those German-speaking cultures. To dig into the analysis, we'll look at the literal meaning of several proverbs, noting language elements that play a role in the proverb. We'll then examine the figurative meaning and give the English equivalent of the proverb, or as close as we can come to one. And we'll explore what the proverb and these meanings might reveal about German values, attitudes, and practices in the business context. The first proverb is Übung macht den Meister. The proverb equivalent in English is practice makes perfect. Notice the similar alliteration, in English with the P, practice and perfect, and in German with the M, Macht and Meister. Since we have the same proverb in English, it's easy to assume that this proverb doesn't really signal any big difference in culture here. However, a lot more is revealed when we look at the literal translation. Practice makes the master, or practice makes a person into a master. The interesting cultural notion here is that of the Meister, or master, and how that differs from the perfection in the English version. In Germany, a Meister is an official title that someone receives when they complete a specialized training for a trade. It's the highest professional qualification you can achieve within fields where people work with their hands, such as carpentry or roofing, as is pictured here. Think of master craftsman or maestro in music. In Germany, the educational system offers a serious vocational training option starting at an early age. It includes both theoretical and practical training, but also offers business and legal aspects. Becoming a Meister is regulated by German law and requires written and oral exams plus an apprenticeship, and in some cases the creation of a masterpiece. The entire process takes many years, and once you've completed the extensive training, you earn the title and the respect that comes with it. This proverb then gives us some cultural insights into Germany's values relevant to the business context. First, hard work will lead to ultimate skill attainment. Second, that hard work is about an individual taking action and responsibility to do what's required to reach the goal. That's the basis for success. Third, it reflects that Germans understand that completion of something worthwhile can take a significant amount of time. This helps us understand why Germans seem to like a hierarchy. The respect for those in higher positions is linked to the work that person did in order to get into that position. The next proverbs we'll analyze deal directly with the German notion of work, Arbeit. This is often a stereotype that people have about Germans. They're hardworking, they love to work, they live to work. That's why their economy has been so successful, right? Looking at a few German proverbs dealing with work will help us explore that stereotype. What do you think? Will it confirm or counter it? First, let's see what the data says. This graph seems to show that Germans are indeed diligent, work-obsessed people that the stereotype claims. Germans recently ranked near the top out of this group of countries, according to this measure, GDP per hour worked. The high cultural value placed on work has led to Made in Germany becoming one of the world's most respected labels. There are indeed proverbs in German that reflect work as a cultural value. For instance, the proverb, Arbeit ist das halbe Leben, which translates into English as work is half of life. This proverb is Erst die Arbeit, dann das Vergnügen. It's similar to English, first work, then enjoyment, or more commonly, work before pleasure. The German proverb, like the English version, makes work the priority over fun times. Notice the alliteration with the R here, as well as the poetic rhythm. Wer rastet, der rostet. The literal English translation, the person who rests, rusts, sounds like it could be a proverb, even though it isn't in English. But the meaning is clear. These are just a few German proverbs that show the importance of keeping busy, working hard, prioritizing work, and putting in the time. Stereotype confirmed, right? And yet, Check out where Germany stacks up on the average annual hours worked per worker. And when looking at the percentage of workers who plan to use up all their vacation days, Germany ranks way up at the top. These 2 points illustrate the larger context and help to counter the stereotypes somewhat. Yes, Germans work hard, but they also play hard, and you guessed it, there's a proverb for that. Dienst ist Dienst und Schnaps ist Schnaps. On the surface, the proverb seems to have the general equivalent of English, never mix business with pleasure. Keep work and private life strictly separate. Dienst means service or work, and Schnaps is, of course, Schnapps or liquor. This pithy proverb drives home a key cultural value in the German business context. They are less likely to have drinks with colleagues after work or even bring in food to share in the break room. Co-workers tend to remain on a formal basis, using the German formal you form, Sie, even when they've worked together for years. Now, this is changing somewhat due to the influence of other cultures, particularly the American work culture, through increased interaction in the global marketplace and, of course, through pop culture. At the same time, the German work-play divide has proven to be stronger than ever in other ways. The German government has considered a ban on work-related emails after 6 p.m. to counter the accessibility that smartphones and constant connectivity give workers. German car manufacturer Daimler instituted the mail-on holiday policy, allowing their workers to automatically delete any work emails they receive while on vacation, so that they're not tempted to check work email while away and they can return to work after vacation fully refreshed. The proverbs in this presentation helped us explore German cultural perspectives, especially as they relate to the business context. We showed how proverbs can both underscore and contradict the stereotypes many have of German culture. What we examined here was just the tip of the proverbial iceberg, and I invite you to continue exploring and analyzing, looking through the fascinating window that proverbs can give you into culture. Thanks for listening. Danke.